All right, welcome to the American Dream. My name is Tom Zdanowicz. I'm the broker, owner, and partner here at Remax Revolution. And today we have Josh Blair, Vice President of Sales and Branch Manager of Family First Funding. Josh, thanks for coming on board with us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Josh, we've known each other, probably 15 years or so. The first time we met, we were both at different companies back then, but it's been a long journey, and we've done a lot of transactions together. I see you as a true professional in the business and someone who comes up with some very creative ways to get financing and help every single person out there. So why don't you just go over a little bit of your background and how you got into the business?
Yeah, Tom, it's been 15 years. It feels like it just flew by. 15 years like that. Been in the business for 20 years and simply started out in the business because I was looking for a house. I was part of the .com industry and things were kind of fizzling away in the early 2000s and was interested in real estate, got licensed, got in the business, and it certainly has changed since then.
I wanted to go over a little bit about the market. You know how it is right now out there. There's all buyers and no sellers. Inventory is a huge issue for us, and the buyers out there want to know some of the ways they can kind of put their name at the top of a seller's list. You probably come across, you're probably writing 10, 15, 20 pre-approvals for every buyer nowadays. So just curious if anything you're seeing that a buyer can take advantage of or something they can do to put them in the higher light of the seller.
The first thing is you can't be intimidated or discouraged. We've heard this in life, you do not want to stop. There's no winning and quitting. And I find that a lot of buyers say because of the market are very much, disenfranchised with the inventory levels and where things are. I have a lot of clients a lot of people that call me that say, I don't believe it's a good time or I'm not looking for maybe another year. I'm waiting for the market to change. And so I'm thinking I'm going to get started then. And I would say one of the biggest things is you want to start right away. In life, especially in real estate, success happens when two things meet: opportunity and preparedness. So you can never be too prepared. If you have a 700 credit score, well, this is the time to get it up to 750 or 800. If you have, this amount of money for a down payment, maybe it's possible, to prepare properly and have even more money to put down or have more money to work with when you do find the home that you're looking for. So preparedness is key and something that should be started right away.
Right. So along that same vein, you're seeing so many applications. Your underwriters are seeing so many applications. I'm sure some things are kicked back and causes delays. Are you seeing some of the common buyer mistakes on their applications or what they're doing to not prepare? Anything you can kind of give them a heads up on?
Well, you have to be, in the field to understand exactly what you're buying and understand that this is a completely different market. For the first-time home buyer, they don't know any better. They weren't in the business for 10, 15 years like we've been to see what's happened. But you need to have more money as far as reserves than you've ever needed before. Appraisals are under pressure. Many people think that they need 20% down. In some cases, you need more, and in some cases, you need less. We have some tremendous loan programs where you can put down as little as 3%, 5% with no mortgage insurance. And these programs are helping people in this hot market make their offers more acceptable.
Yeah, you bring up a good point too. I know there's a new first-time buyer credit program as well, and coming up with creative ways to get a deal. Right now, we're seeing a lot of deals that have to happen because of some type of appraisal waiver or contribution to appraisal. So if you had more reserves, you have the ability to do that. And the smart listing agents are asking for proof of funds on that kind of stuff. So. And now because of the pandemic, obviously a lot of this kicked off because of that. Are you seeing any changes from the underwriters requiring different type of paperwork or anything that COVID and pandemic has changed on the basis of underwriting?
About a year ago, it was completely different than it is now. I think now it's much easier than it was a year ago when we were in the thick of the pandemic. Right now, it's good old-fashioned underwriting. Obviously, we want to see that people are back to work. We want to see that people have reserves, that they haven't been late on anything. They haven't obviously short sold the property. But now it's starting to feel like it did prior to the pandemic. So again, I think the most important thing for a buyer today is to get prepared, and to become acclimated with the market and really understand what their costs are from a payment standpoint and from a cash to close standpoint. The numbers out there, Tom, are, as you know, are staggering. Houses are going sometimes 5, sometimes 10% over list. And, with these big numbers out there and the numbers continue to climb, buyers seem to get lost a little bit in the excitement. And at the end of the day, it's not really about the price of the home. It's about how much money is leaving the buyer's pocket. And that meaning the monthly payment and how much money they're going to need for closing.
Yeah, true. I mean, I've passed 2 listings. They've gone for 20% over asking price. I mean, it's just the best word I've heard it explained is frothy. These buyers are just getting so frothy to win. So you have to be careful to make a wise investment as well on the buy side.
That's what I'm seeing where buyers are getting discouraged. They are saying that it's not a good time to buy, and because it's a seller's market. But I don't know where this other inventory is going to come from. I mean, in our area, there's just such a migration of people coming to this area. And I just, when you have that supply and demand, that's always, in play here, I'm just not sure when it's going to change. I would like to think for the buyers, it will change. However, there's no crystal ball. We don't know where that's or when that's going to happen.
Right. And making a wise investment, it's not always the price you're paying, it's the monthly payment. Because at these type of rates, I mean, I can't see a homeowner having to refinance ever. Sell, different story, but refinance, if you're at under 3 or 3.5, historically, you're never going to see stuff like that again. So 07, 08, we got into trouble because people had rates at 6%, 7%, and they could not refi so easily. So but any predictions for the market? What's going to happen? I know you don't have your crystal ball, as we just talked about, but rates, we don't know where rates are going exactly. The inventory is at an all-time low, a fifth of what it should be. Any predictions of where the market's going, what the Fed's doing, anything?
Well, predictions are interesting. I can tell you that the expectation is that rates are in fact going to rise. You're seeing gas prices go up. You're seeing the cost of goods go up. Building materials. I mean, pretty much everything seems to be on the rise. The government has printed an obscene amount of money, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing this huge uptick in inflation. So as rates are still, I think, suppressed, or artificially kept down by the government, I think that as we pull out of this COVID pandemic, that you're going to see some things change. And yes, that I think more than anything will have the rates rise, which means mortgage payments going up. So you got to be in it to win it. If you're in the market and you haven't been able to connect with a property and negotiate a property and find a property, my advice for the future is to not be discouraged and to continue to be positive and continue to be out there, crunching numbers and looking at homes with your realtor.
Right. And one of the most important things I feel, and we've learned that in the past, is to touch base with your loan officer earlier than later. I mean, we've had some situations where someone found the perfect property. They took on a forbearance months before and thought it wasn't going to be considered a late. And all of a sudden they couldn't buy that property because it was considered a late. So touch base with your loan officer ahead of time. That way you get all your ducks in a row, your cards on the table, and you know exactly where you stand. So Josh, as always, it was a pleasure speaking with you, the most knowledgeable man in the business. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.